Hey, all of it, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
What time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yeah, before we get to the actual shot of the day, quick side shout out to Darren Wall. That'd be the bass player from the Seattle metal band Greyhawk. Yeah, that's right, bass players. I got your back, player. Go ahead, look it up. Stepped up in a big way. Where was the guitar player? Huh? Where was your lead singer?
He was loading up the van.
No, he was having sex with one of the groupies. But the bass player being left all alone and no one being interested in him. Actually, he did a very good thing over the weekend. Stepped up in a very, very big way and prevented a bad situation from getting worse.
Nice.
Then I saw a picture of the guy, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I would not mess with that guy in 10,000 years. All right, today we toast 46-year-old Stephen Cooper from Staffordshire, England. Stephen found himself in a new relationship with a woman, and that, according to him anyway, was why he was busted stealing Viagra at a local pharmacy. I think we can piece together his needs versus what's going on. Anyway, the pharmacy did not call the cops, but he was banned. They said, look, man, you don't need to go to jail for this, but you just can't come back in the shop. Well, 4 weeks later, he returned to the same pharmacy and once again stole more Viagra. And this time he didn't even try to be subtle, right? So the first time he tried to put it in his pockets, they ended up busting him. This time he came in, he knew these people would recognize him, and they did. So he just snagged them and took the hell off out of the store. However, this time they did call the cops, and he had to go to court. And when he went to court, his lawyer successfully pleaded with the judge to show some leniency. He was given a real small fine and basically just sent home, said don't go back to the shop. Now, we're not 100% sure why the judge was so lenient, but some people suspect it was Stephen's lawyer's quote. So regarding his client who stole Viagra, there's no joke, the lawyer said, and I quote, he's not a hardened criminal. And the judge letting him off with a small fine. I don't know if it was just happenstance.
They're going to say he was hard up.
If he did it on purpose, either way, they were kind of like, all right, you got a fine. So there you go. So hopefully you're soft if you get busted stealing Viagra, because the evidence will be your erection. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Eric. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hey, how you doing?
Hola. All right, Eric, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
All right, then you know you have your choice of one of three stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, interior decorating, where you guess the foreign objects that ended up on the inside of someone.
I gotta go interior decorating.
Yeah. And the song is quite accurate for this story. I'm going to read you a quote from someone. They were, it's one of these internet discussions where people are honest about some of the things they did in their teenage years. And it goes as follows, quote, I should preface this by saying, this was the peak of puberty when hormones caused me to lose my damn mind. I don't know if it's the same for girls, but I was obsessed with my own genitals. One time I tried, I don't want to say for how long exactly, but let's just say my parents are out of town, and I had the house to myself for hours. I tried to fit something into my own butt. And then he goes on to explain what the experience was. Now, in the end, he was unsuccessful, but according to him, not for lack of trying. But the question is, what did he attempt to insert into his own rectum? And again, teenage years, he wants to explore. Was it a candle? Was it deodorant? Was it his mom's dildo or his own penis? So we have a candle, deodorant, his mom's sex toy / dildo, or his own penis.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the right response.
Does Ted have an opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could even try to insert your own penis, something like that. So I think that's out. Candle seems wild. I know it sounds gross, but at that age, you find something sexual, you're not positive what you're doing, you don't care whose it is. I think he had his mom's dildo.
Okay.
Which is disturbing.
No, but you're right. At that age, you're just like, oh, it's shaped like something sexual. You're not picturing your mom jamming this thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, conveniently, they have a penis-shaped object.
Right. Or you find something, but like you're not smart to put together like, oh my God, this is used for, they're using this. It's just exciting because you're like, look, it came from a sex store.
All right, Eric, I'm going to go his own penis because he was unsuccessful.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go, too.
Okay.
I'm crazy.
We're going to be penis buddies, and Ted's going to go mom's dildo. Is that correct?
That sounds worse than when we do drugs.
That's what Eric was hoping to hear, that he and Miles would be penis buddies today.
We'll find out what this guy tried to stick up there. Candle, deodorant, mom's dildo, or his own penis next.
That was a tease.
Oh, fiddlesticks! What, Wilbur? We just got hit and I think my back has all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What? Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What? Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category interior decorating. On profile this, we have a man who was in his experimental phase of life. Parents went out of town. He decided to try to stick something into his backside. He was just seeing what was going on. Question is, what did he attempt to put up there? I believe it was unsuccessful in the attempt anyway. A candle, deodorant, his mom's dildo, or his own penis.
To be fair, it could have also been his dad's dildo, just assuming mom. Anyway, but we asked you this question. Ted, you went dildo. And even though that would probably be the best answer, all things considered, that is not the answer. Now, Eric, you agree with our very own Miles Montgomery. It went penis, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it's also correct.
All right.
I'll read you the rest of his quote. Guy says, I did not want to have sex with myself or anything. It was more I just wanted to know if I wanted to, I could. Anyway, it was basically just me trying to place my penis in my own backside, and I could sort of get it to touch, but that was really it. I guess I was hoping I'd have a real cool party trick or something. I don't know why I did half the things I did when I was a teenager. That is a new one for me. Never tried that.
Now for all the TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Did you guys watch any college football over this weekend?
I watched a lot of college football over this weekend.
Nice.
You even watched Coach Prime, as they call him now.
I saw that they had some HBCUs on
Yes, they did.
NFL Network Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
HBCU is historical black college universities. We don't know.
How did Coach Sanders' team do?
They won.
Did they win?
But I'm a little torn. So, in theory, they should not have won. That's basically what all the odds makers are saying, okay? But they went out there, they held their own. Their offense could actually move the ball. His son is playing quarterback. They can move the ball a little bit, but his son has a bad case of the fumble. So, on 3 separate occasions, they drove the field. They got within 10 yards, and quarterback alone fumbled the ball. He wasn't throwing picks. Dude fumbled. Either trying to draw the play out and somebody just slapped his hand. One time, it just went through his hands. Third time, he tries to hand it to the running back, only I don't believe the running back knew that it was supposed to be a running play. So now the ball, and all 3 times the defense recovered and took. So they could have won that game 28-6. They won 7-6, still a win. But it's interesting to see Deion on the sideline. You know, a lot of coaches, they get upset every once in a while. But when they get frustrated, they kind of wave their guys over and they get in their ear. Deion lost his mind through the whole game.
That's what he does. But they weren't good last year either.
No, they weren't. They're not great this year, but he got to win.
So I was going to bring up the Maryland-West Virginia game. Was very excited to watch it on Saturday. I will say Miles, the West Virginia quarterback, he was just floating stuff out there.
Is that right?
Oh, my God. As soon as first quarter, it was he is floating every pass. Make him pass the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come back to haunt him. But, yeah, wild weekend. You already had some upsets going on. Listen, most people here in this area are from the state of Washington. So they either like the Huskies or the Cougs. I won't bring up either of them because I like y'all.
I would just say the night when the Huskies were playing, I was at a friend's house. We had it on TV, but it was in the background because we're just having beers, having conversation. And I remember as the game started, the comment he made to me, he goes, well, a lot of teams do this for the first game of the college season. You put the patsy up and start off 1-0. And we're like, snicker, ha, ha. By the time we looked at the TV again, it's the fourth quarter, and we're like, oh, this can't be right. Is that right? Oh, that's right.
Mean, look, I did the same thing, right? I watched the Maryland game. Then Husky game's going to start, but we're going to go. The tides were up, so we're going to go swimming. My buddy's house is right down on the Sound, right?
Because what are you going to miss?
Right, and the Huskies go out and score a touchdown right away.
Yeah,
all right, cool. So we go down there. We're not even sweating it, but then as the night goes on and stuff, it's like, Jesus, man, this is close.
Yeah.
And then I missed the end of the game. Same thing. I was out in the yard BSing with other people, and I was like, oh my God. And then I saw my Twitter getting fired up because all the Cougs fans were yucking it up.
Keep laughing.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the worst thing I heard at the end of the Montana game was when the announcers were signing off. I was just watching the wrapping up the broadcast, and the guy goes, "We'll see you next week from the big house." And I thought, holy criminy, that's not good. I guess they're going to Michigan.
They're going to Michigan next week,
Okay,
which is ironic because that bowl subdivision, right, used to be 1AA. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been an upset like that with a Montana beating a Huskies in years.
20th ranked Huskies.
But the last one it was Appalachian State going to the big house.
I remember that.
In 07, I want to say, and beating Michigan there.
Yeah. The only time the Mountaineers have ever beat them.
Are they the Mountaineers too?
Yeah, they are.
All right. But with that said, it is the first week. So you're going to have this stuff. I mean, there was a couple years on Labor Day weekend, 2 years in a row to be exact, where Maryland beat Texas, and then Maryland went on to win 3 or 4 games, and Texas went on to be good. So
it's just the beginning of the year.
It is. It's
all the games do count, but still.
They do, and that's what college football is a little more exciting. The games count a ton.
They count.
And there's only 4 teams going to get into a playoff anyhow at this point. But for me, it's just fun to hear the bands, eating food, having drinks. I was like, college football, I love you.
Yeah, the Virginia Tech game set off the earthquake detector.
Oh, really?
When they did their Inner Sandman intro and
on
Blacksburg.
Friday?
Yep.
I feel like they've done that before.
Well, the place looked like it was nuts.
Yeah. I know Seattle did it with the Beastquake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Marshawn Lynch, place got so loud that measured on the
Except
the
no
Richter
one was
scale.
trying to. Right. You know what I mean? Like in Virginia, and look, it's still impressive, but it's like they understand there's kind of a goal in mind. Let's get this registered, right?
Yeah.
Beastquake, like, it just happened. And just the response, and it was such an awesome run, but I mean, just the response, like, you set off a minor earthquake because you were that pumped up. You're not trying to do anything. It's just, and let's not forget at the end of the my favorite part of that whole run, they show all the clips. It's when he crosses the goal line backwards, leg spread, grabs his crotch, and I'm like, that is the ultimate, man. How can you not like this dude?
It is. Yeah. All right, some sad news. If you're like me, you're a big fan of The Wire. You would know Michael K. Williams. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I think most people know him from being Omar in The Wire the most.
And if not, you'll recognize him when you see him.
Correct.
Sure.
And he had been on a couple other, he had been in Boardwalk Empire, 12 Years a Slave, When They See Us. But he was found dead this weekend. For what they're saying, everything, there's no official rule death yet, but you know, he hadn't heard from it. Nobody had heard from him in a few days. The cops go to check on him. He's face down in his apartment he's living in. So unfortunately, it's looking like a drug overdose, which is just, it's just crazy. Because he would tell the stories about growing up, I want to say in New York City, and like he had been down this road, I want to say before, and had beaten it. So I think I said to Throw today, like, man, this is one of those sad ones where is this like somebody who had a relapse and did too much, or the damn fentanyl getting into everything.
Yep, right.
So that's a tough one, but obviously he'll be remembered by a lot of people, and frankly, a hell of an actor. Mm-hmm. And one of the scariest characters ever, I think, on TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I still love years ago, in the NFL, you have, 2 openly gay players now? But homosexuality, and Miles, you played a bunch of locker rooms. Like, there's way too many jokes to go around. Like, it's
not an environment conducive to coming out.
Correct. So Real Sports, that's a good way to put it. Real Sports had a whole thing on The Wire and how all these NFL guys loved it. But ironically, they all loved Omar, who, if you remember from the show, was openly gay. And it was not a big deal. And a lot of people made comments to him, but it just was always a very weird dichotomy.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, yeah. Shout out to him. It was a great show.
You got to remember, a lot of racists love the NBA. I mean, it's just one of those things, right?
I think I heard that speech at Sal's once.
And college football.
Right. That's right.
And college basketball.
Okay, well.
College football, because some of the college sports can be crazy. You look at the fans with their chant and stuff, and it's like, it's not like you hate everybody. Look at the guys on your team.
Right.
So we'll see. This one's not nearly as shocking because, frankly, he was 87 years old, but Willard Scott, he passed away on Saturday, too.
That was fentanyl. I'm kidding.
Oh, my God. I was like, Willard Scott? The original Ronald McDonald?
Yeah. Willard Scott died from fentanyl overdose.
Dude, I'll tell you one real quick on that one. I know you grew up watching that guy because he was a local TV weatherman first.
And he was, like, when I was a kid, it was like the most exciting part of the morning was like Willard Scott was going to wish somebody happy birthday.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he was, he worked in radio like a lot of those guys did. So when I was working at the station in Annapolis, 810 WYRE, they had all these reel-to-reel tapes that were stacked up of all the different jingles and all the people who worked there. So Pat Sajak was on the air there. All these just, and they go, Pat Sajak on 810. The people who sing and all that crap.
Yeah.
Well, Willard Scott was on there. And I always just thought, wow. Willard Scott worked in this crappy-ass studio.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like Willard Scott, 810.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a weather guy. He was just a DJ.
I mean, it is weird. Even when I got into radio, like, there was a couple guys, there was a couple guys, man, I can't think of his name. Not Ken Rosenthal, who everybody knows now from baseball on Fox. Yeah. But, working his show was pretty cool. He was already high up there. But there was a couple just local sports guys that I had listened to for years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was just weird having a conversation with them on a Saturday afternoon. Like,
and they're just chill.
Yeah.
Were you amazed at how heavy most of them were?
Yes.
Because and not
but
any
like
particular individual. Yeah, I did not know this. Because they talk about sports. This guy came in out of shape. So there's just this idea you have in your head. And I can't speak to every city, but certainly in Baltimore, I will tell you, most of the guys that do sports talk are like 320 pounds. You're like, gee, you're giving him grief because he didn't show up in shape. He's like 5 pounds overweight. Like, brother, we can't get to a broadcast without you eating like 15 Twinkies, I'm just saying, it just shocked me behind the scenes. Like, oh my God, everyone here gassed, or was it Guest? Craig Guest, Stoffberg. There are a bunch of dudes who are just like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of big people. And I'm not sure that all of them got big after their playing days. I think some of them were big enough they didn't have playing days and stayed big.
Yeah. On one guy we worked with didn't even have a leg.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's true. And Miles couldn't score on him soccer.
Nope.
No one-legged goalie.
Not even close.
Sad but true.
Not even close.
I mean, that's the crazy thing is that is a true story.
And it's only in front of a few thousand people.
Yeah, it was just a couple people in the stands.
Just lining it up. But you're right. Willard Scott was, and then if you watch the Today Show, everybody knows Al Roker now.
Sure.
And there's only a few of those kind of guys that have that big of a career and this and that. And obviously being on the Today Show is a massive, massive help.
Sure.
It goes a long way. Also, like, talking about college football, Mike and I were saying this earlier. I forgot till this morning. I'm like, man, the NFL is 2 days away. Thursday night, they're going to play a game, and then Sunday, you're going to have a full slate of games.
Yep. The Buccaneers are going to play a game.
Yeah, they're playing the Cowboys.
I'm sorry, man. I just...
Speaking of which, if you are a Cowboys fan, or you just like, I like Hard Knocks. I might watch it tonight, but that's the 16th season finale of that on HBO. Also, another third season premiere of American Crime Story. This one is Impeachment. It's about Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton going on, and they'll have Hillary in there.
I'm going to be on TV. Hillary, let's sit down and get some popcorn.
I don't think they're watching that one at home.
Oh, come on.
He's watching it.
Yeah.
That's
apparently I'm featured in it.
Yeah, he's going to be featured a lot.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro. Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case. Dude, no way. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A man swallows his cell phone and doctors safely remove it after it had been in his stomach for 4 days. Meanwhile, a man going the wrong way pulling a boat without a trailer apparently was in a drunken haze. Shocker. Clerk steals customer's winning lotto ticket before booking a flight and leaving town. Iowa home listed at $25K basically just needs to be burned to the ground. And a pizza shop disposes dough in a dumpster before Hurricane Ida. Now a giant dough blob. And time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
Top story, we got Louisiana where someone is documenting an unintentional science experiment. As the surrounding area prepared for the encroaching Hurricane Ida, employees abandoned a local pizza shop, throwing unused products away in the dumpster out back. Now, in the time since, a local has taken photos of the dumpster as the summer heat caused the dough to rise above and spill out of the dumpster.
It is quite a sight.
It is amazing. If you have not taken a chance to look this up, just look up, I think it's a Domino's out there in Louisiana that has been abandoned because of Hurricane Ida, and it is absolutely filling up. And when you think about it, this dumpster is just basically an upward-facing oven.
That's all it is. When it's that hot, for sure.
Right. It's a metal box with the summer sun on it, just letting all that dough rise. It's full. It's
plenty
fantastic.
of moisture, plenty of humidity.
Plenty of space for it to grow. It's fantastic. I want to see more of this. In other news, a man in Massachusetts was arrested for OUI thanks to an eagle-eyed officer. The officer was driving down a service road when a truck headed in the opposite direction almost hit him head on. Most would think this was just an inconsiderate driver, but no, not this officer. His keen eye picked up a small detail that told him the driver was in an altered state. That would be the boat that he was towing that was completely off the trailer and was dragging behind the truck.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
The officer was able to stop the truck safely and arrest the driver.
Jesus, guys. Come on.
Again,
Get it together, brother.
How bombed are you to where you have a boat dragging behind your truck? Because that's going to be quiet that you don't go, hey, you know what? Maybe something's a little awry back there.
Mm-hmm. Not that guy.
Sparks flying because of the boat. Good work there, boss.
I think he's a little intoxicated.
A little bit.
Jeez.
A little sideways there. The owner of a tobacco shop in Italy is on the run after allegedly stealing a winning lottery ticket. The story goes that the true winner of the $500,000 scratch-off turned it in to the shop to collect her winnings, but it was given to the owner of the shop for additional verification. Instead of bringing the ticket back after verifying it, the owner instead fled the shop on his scooter. He was later caught at the local airport with a ticket to the Canary Islands, but did not have the ticket on his person. Authorities are still trying to find the ticket and have blocked the shop owner's ability to cash it. Again, I see what he was going for there, but you got to know that they already know who you are. It was done in your shop. You are clearly the owner of the shop. There is all kinds of surveillance footage on you, right?
But she knew now that it was verified.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know it's a winner. He's trying to leave.
Well, and I like his move. Like, screw this place, man. I'm going out to the Canary Islands. Ship me out my winnings if you would.
Yeah, I own the place and I'm leaving.
Exactly. Damn. I love this one. Over in Iowa, a house right on the Mississippi has recently cut its price down. For the low price of $25,000, you can call this little gem home, and here's what the listing has to say. Keep in mind, when it comes to selling a house, the sell is key, man. You just got to poster it up perfectly, and here's what it says. If you like the outdoors, you'll love the missing windows, allowing a cool breeze to flow through the home, saving on energy bills. If you're a fan of horror flicks and supernatural, you'll love the creepy feel this home has with all of its creaky boards, cold walls, and the haunted exterior look with broken siding, weeds growing into the home, and save time scraping off that lead-based paint, being half of it is missing. If you like to sleep listening to the sound of water, this basement comes with plenty of leaks. The kitchen is suitable for a buyer who does not like to cook. The owner took the appliances and floor, but left behind pots and pans in case you have a change of heart. If you think someone else's trash is another person's treasure, then bring your dumpster. They've left all their trash. They've left all their trash behind for you. Please make viewing appointments during the day, as the owner lived in the home with no utilities hooked up.
I like it.
This place is up for sale for $25,000 out there in Iowa.
Which is probably just the value of the property.
Right.
And probably a high estimate at that.
Yeah, this place definitely has to go down to the ground and go back to square one. Yeah. But it really is right there on
Hopefully
the Mississippi
you're buying the acreage.
But at least they were honest about it. Like, this is the piece of ass.
Right. And you're in a flood zone.
This thing's trash. This has got to be the bank that owns this one, because they keep down-talking the owner. So that means that whoever was renting this thing from the bank just went ahead and pulled up studs and left. Great work, everybody. But again, it's down there on the very bottom right... southeastern corner of the state of Iowa, right there on the river. So, I mean, it's good location.
That's why I wouldn't buy it.
I'm good. I don't need it.
I recently almost bought in Iowa.
Did you?
Yeah, backed out.
Yeah. Too much farmland for you, Ted. You don't seem like farming, Ted. You need to...
Well, it's, like you were saying, southeastern Iowa.
Exactly.
The busy part.
Right. One man in Europe had to go to the hospital for a stupid decision. He went to the ER in pain after he had managed to swallow an imitation Nokia 3310 phone.
Wow. It wasn't even a real one?
No, it was an imitation phone.
It's slightly smaller, so it's better that he swallowed the imitation phone.
All right.
As if that would, make it better that it was actually the real phone. But not talking to anyone, this isn't something that you can pass without complication, and doctors were able to remove the object safely. All right. They said that, 10 to 20% of people that swallow... that swallow things that they shouldn't actually have to go to the hospital for attention for it. Like, most of the stuff that people swallow that they shouldn't will just pass naturally.
Yeah.
There's about 10 to 20% that actually need to seek medical attention to go in and get it, and then 1% actually needs it to be surgically removed.
All right. Because it's a phone.
Exactly. And I don't know what kind of stunt that you're doing. I don't even care if you're a YouTube personality. Why in the world are you swallowing this phone? An imitation, by the way. So you can't even be like, this phone can survive everything, including the human organs. And they were saying, there's also batteries in there with acid.
That was what they were worried about, yeah.
It's going to break down right there in your gut. So good work there, Scott. That is it for headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. More Men's Room on the way. The Men's Room Happy Hour is up next with the return of the effing news exclusively on the Odyssey app.
Yes, indeed, it is all true, but in the meantime, we be all about this bitch for 90 seconds. So until then, do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.